Gansao in its upward manifestation. So what we can do now is you can actually just look at using strength, structure, state. You can start off here. So strength, a couple of times, really put some pressure on, pushing the force to come up and feel how it feels. Structure, center, feel the structure, let the shoulder joint turn to bring the elbow up into the center. Structure, and then state. Center, sense, sink, connect, expand, see into the center, and go state. Okay, so you can just play with strength, structure, state from this position here. Then you can do it from holding at the forearm. So you've gone past the elbow joint now to the forearm. And it's the same thing. You know, from the start position, go with strength, feeling how that feels. Feeling how that feels on your system. Structure. And then into state. Okay. Strength, structure, state from here. Then you can go to hold at the hand and wrist. So you kind of get to the past the actual wrist joint if you're feeling comfortable with that. And here you're going to really need to center and sense so that you've got a nice unification of your actual structure. And I go with strength to do it, structure, and state. So you can go through and use those practices. Look, strength, structure, state are a fantastic way to build the state into your system, meaning the way of approaching the movement from intention, mind, energy, as opposed to force and just physicality. So it's a different approach, which is what we're trying to master. Because if you can master the state, you can master your mind, and you can master your emotions. If you can master your emotions, you master your mind, you can master your life, meaning you can bring out your life potential in a much faster, more powerful, more easier, more free, expansive, creative, and joyful way. Now that's a simple exercise you can use. We'll give Carlson a go with that. You can start from above the elbow joint, just near the biceps, in the same start position. Now don't get lazy or floppy with your shapes. Don't start going, I'm going to stay relaxed. No, use the shapes correctly how you use them in the form, right? When you do your strength, structure, state training. So he goes through strength work. He feels how that feels. He then goes into structure, feels how that feels. And then he goes into state and uses how that feels. Not bad.
I'm doing state.
Yeah. Strength, structure, state. So a couple of times, strength, yeah, and get a feeling for it. That's the option. So he goes to strength. I feel the muscles that activate in him. He feels them too. I hold the same, so I'm not changing. He goes into structure, uses structure, and then he uses state. So he gets into the condition. Now make sure when you go into state, make sure you're centered. You know what I mean? Don't just forget about centering. So bring the awareness into the center and uplift your energy, because that's going to be the foundation, right? You have that on in your center, and from there you use the state. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, so that's a real simple exercise you can use it for. Now, another simple exercise you can do is you can just play around with from the inside, from the outside and from the inside. So from the inside I can come up through, practicing coming up through from contact. So as I reach up through, I come through to I can use the outside of the inside of the hand to make contact with his throat, or as I come through, I could use like a punch shape. And I just play around with that as your partner applies a gentle pressure here. So I come up through, maybe I have like 5 or 6 turns. I can even be walking forward and covering my center and connecting to him, yeah? And then he can have a go. So now I hold my hands here and he can go from the outside, yeah? Using that to come up through. So he's using that Gansao movement to control me from the outside gates. Yeah? You can see Carlson's hands are on the outside here. As he does that, keep going. So Gansao. Practicing the movement we're working on. He starts punching me in the face. Yeah, right idea. Good. And now, see, Carlson's going left to keep both sides on. So if I demonstrate, we don't just, stop me here. We don't just go the right side, left side. I always keep both sides on, yeah? So I keep both sides on, yeah? Both sides, both sides, both sides. So you always feel both sides on, both sides on. So like in Sulim Tao, yeah?
Shoulders stay square.
So you can take turns with this. So I was coming from the inside practicing Gansaos, upward Gansao. Then Carlson was doing it from the outside. He was doing Gansaos, yeah? Yeah, and then we can switch. I come in the outside, he's on the inside now. Carlson practices this, yeah? And don't apply too much force, and make sure, keep going. See how they went like this?
Yeah.
Make sure you're applying the movement correctly. You're not trying to win. It's a technique. The winning is in staying in state and moving correctly. Am I centered? Is my elbow arcing into the center? Do I feel a level of forcelessness? Sense your body and feel that the muscles are feeling that they're sinking and releasing as you do the movement. Yeah? Yeah. You're not trying to impress anyone, you know what I mean? Like you're not trying to beat anyone, especially in skill development. You're trying to cultivate skill. So the question is, keep going, am I feeling, so rather than just trying to push through, when you feel resistance, you don't just try to push through it. You center yourself, you sink and release, and you continue to go into that effortless feeling. Yeah, the effortless feeling, yeah? Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Did you feel how you were just kind of trying to ram your way through it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, yeah. Now you're using more of the state. Yeah. Your objective is to align with the state, not to throw people around. You know, the more you can align with the state, the more naturally you'll start to develop that internal power, which will allow you to throw people around. Yeah. Good. Then I can do it from the outside now. Yeah. And Carson, then we go from the inside. So you just take turns on practicing that control and that upward Garn mechanism. So that's a couple of exercises there for you to play around with. If you have any questions, comments, put them into the community, but also share your experiences. You know, when you played with that exercise, how'd you go? Oh, lastly, if you don't have a training partner, once again, you're gonna have to imagine. Secondly, now that we've got that new map, get into the map and find someone near you. And you know, there was someone who had concerns that, oh, but I don't want to give my location. Look, firstly, you don't have to give your exact address. You put an approximation of where you live, right? Secondly, even if they did find you, you could then use your Kung Fu skills to fight them. So you get to put some of your skills into practice. All right, any questions in the community? And I look forward to seeing you in our next video.